It always seemed a bit ridiculous to see Superman, with all his awesome power, pretend to be this dorky reporter, Clark Kent, so that he would fit in with the rest of us mere mortals. On many occasions, Clark had to pretend to be weak in order to maintain his cover. By all outward appearances, Clark seemed human enough, but internally he never really knew what it was like to feel true human weakness. Because, of course, he was Superman. It makes you also wonder, was Jesus fully human? Or was he really just Superman pretending to be Clark Kent? Have you really ever given any thought to it? I think most of us haven't really considered the thought at all. And most of us that have really haven't searched very hard for the right answer. This question is extremely important to answer. The way we see Jesus as a man directly impacts the way we view our own limitations as human beings. If Jesus was fully God, then it would have been impossible for him to be tempted. James 1:13 says, "When tempted, no one should say, 'God is tempting me,' for God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone." However, as Hebrews 4:14 through 15 tells us, Jesus was tempted. Therefore, since we have a great high priest who has passed through the heavens, Jesus the Son of God, let us hold fast our confession. We do not have a high priest who cannot sympathize with our weakness, but one who has been tempted in all things as we are, yet without sin. So if Jesus was fully human, then he cheated and wasn't tempted in all things as we are. And the fact that he led a sinless life becomes utterly meaningless. If there is never a possibility that he could sin, Jesus was tempted in all things just as we were. That means when the scantily clad girl walks by, he had to struggle not to hold on to lustful thoughts. He was tempted to hate his enemies, and yet he loved them and even prayed for them, even while they were crucifying him. How amazing is that? Like me, you have probably been robbed of true admiration for Jesus because you were under the impression that it was super easy for him. He could do it with one hand tied behind his back. The problem people have is that because Jesus had it just as hard as we do, then we are held to the same standard. Be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect. Matthew 5:48. That scares us. Jesus proved that it can be done. Because Jesus lived a sinless life as a human being, it proves that a human can accomplish this. We like to refer to ourselves as dirty, filthy wretches. How many times have you heard your preacher talk about us primarily as sinners? We don't want to be held to the same standard as Jesus because it's easier to stay down here as a sinner. Well, sorry, I can't help it. I'm only human. Well, you can't make that excuse anymore because so was Jesus. Yes, I know. Romans 3:23. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. But just because no human other than Jesus has ever lived a sinless life doesn't mean it's not possible. Jesus proved that it is possible. So I hope you think about this some and maybe post a comment of your own. I'd love to hear you guys talk about this. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'll comment along with you. I hope you have a good day and think about it. Thanks for watching.